Hello, we are back to have another weekly chat with the team.
Weekly-ish.
Weekly-ish, yes, we did miss last week. Our apologies.
You need sage in your house.
I was a little sick.
Again.
Something called the stomach flu?
Not the COVID.
No, not the COVID. Definitely the stomach flu, 100%.
Elise and I have been able to avoid it, everything that he has had so far, so.
I don't know, I need more exercise or more vitamins or I don't know what I need in my life.
Well, anyways, let's talk about some of the things that have been going on the last week-ish. What have you guys been hearing?
I saw this crazy article and I looked into it and this is totally legit, but here's why you should book an Airbnb in Ukraine right now.
What?
So, donations are kind of a sticky subject for a lot of people, and so it's pretty tricky.
I always worry if they're going.
Right, like if you're going to donate to United Way or Red Cross, how's that? What's the logistical pathway for that money to get to the person?
And is it really going to impact in the time that it needs to? The crisis is now, not.
Right.
Yeah.
So what Airbnb, I guess they're doing, they're not really doing anything, is what people figured out, is if you rent an Airbnb in Ukraine, that money goes directly to the host. Well, Airbnb said, we recognize this and we're going to take away the service fees. And so 100% of the money goes right to the host. And you can book them right now. Go to Airbnb, look in Kiev, and you can look in Odessa right now. There's lots of rentals in both those cities. The money will go straight to the host. They'll message you. They'll probably send you some heartfelt message, and you let them know this is all for you guys.
Oh,
and
wow, that
to
gives
help.
me the chills.
Yeah.
No, I actually looked at it this weekend because I thought that when I read that, I thought it was such a great way to help. And something like 68,000 Airbnb nights had already been booked. And when I looked, because they encourage you to do it for as soon as the date was available, because the host gets paid like the day after the booking, right? There was nothing available.
got it.
There were like 2 or 3 open in Kiev and some of the bigger cities I was looking at for the next 7 days, which is awesome. Lots of people are doing it. So.
That is such a unique and good way. That feels good because it's going to a resident. That they're going to be putting those dollars to use or helping a family or passing it down.
And good on Airbnb for taking the opportunity to say, hey, we don't need any service fees. Just we know what's going on here. We understand it.
Okay, I like it. I really like it. I hadn't heard that, so thank you for sharing.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, so obviously lots of volatility in the world with
A little bit.
Putin's war in Ukraine, call it what it is. But it's interesting because I was reading this article about how this invasion of Ukraine can impact our housing market here, right? And it can, obviously. We're seeing all this uncertainty in the world, and actually had what, I don't want to call it a positive impact, but we did see that because of the invasion in Ukraine, interest rates actually went down after weeks of going up, which is positive for our buyers right now. I think it's probably going to be
the ones
back
that are
up.
still hanging in there.
Hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, so that was positive to see last week, but I mean, we do anticipate, the Fed has already said that they've got the
March, that was the time frame, and it's the 7th, so.
Yep. So anyway, what else was in here as far as how it could impact the market?
Something about gas or something?
Oh my gosh, I don't know what I did with that article. Oh, there it is. Okay, it was in this one. Rising gas prices can dampen home buyer demand. When I read this out loud, I wasn't sure I totally got it. Did you have thoughts on how?
Okay, so if gas prices go up by $1, maybe $1.50, maybe your gas budget per month goes up by $150, $200, maybe that brings your home budget down because maybe they have a certain budget for their housing. I don't know.
So another interesting impact that I think that has is we've had this work from home, and now that COVID's done, if you will, we're starting to see more people go back to the workplace, which is impacting people's budgets.
Right.
Like I just watched this video talking about what do you think an impact in 2022 real estate's going to be? And somebody said, I think we're going to have a little bit of buyer remorse. Those people that moved out because they were work from home and now their employers are like, nope, come back. So that right there, just because the gas prices don't impact you if you can work from home, but now if you have to drive to an office, that does affect your budget, your family's budget.
I can attest that this morning traffic was bad. So
I thought it was going to be light because the gas prices are out of control, but
not
it was
yet. Not yet.
It was not light. One thing I will say though, for renting versus buying, I think things like gas prices and inflation, things going up, getting a fixed rate mortgage and knowing that your payment is going to be the same for the next 30 years.
You're not susceptible.
That's housing security.
Housing security, right? Whereas, we're seeing with renters, because even in California where they put this rent control law into effect, if you are one of the people who live in a home that actually is impacted by it, since there are so many that are exempt, but the max increase is 10%, but 10% is a lot, and that's not an increase you'll see to your mortgage payment. So, you know, chalk one up for home ownership rather than renting. But
and that the biggest thing there is housing security, because you can anticipate what your mortgage is going to be every month.
Right.
And no owner is going to all of a sudden decide they want to sell or move their son in, and now
Right.
you're kicked out. So
Right.
housing security right now, I feel, is huge.
Yeah.
With inflation and everything, our groceries going up. I don't know about you guys, but I was spending like 120, 130, and now I'm like 180, 190.
I'm so bad at paying attention to like.
I don't either.
I'm so bad at pay. I know it's awful, and I'm blessed to be in a position where I don't have to pay that much attention. But even I, who don't pay that much attention, have noticed that like, oh wait, that seems way higher than I was paying before, and I'm not. You know, it's painful. So
Okay, I noticed because I survive off Trader Joe's. I shop at Trader Joe's. I buy almost the same things at Trader Joe's. So I guess it's been a little more like a clear picture for me, because
Yeah.
literally everyone at Trader Joe's knows that we survive off Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trader Joe's.
A couple other things I want to mention that I thought were interesting. Other leading indicators of home buying activity for the last couple of weeks. So we kind of already talked about the interest rates falling, but this one specifically says for the week ending March 3rd, 30-year mortgage rates fell from 3.76% to 3.76% from 3.89% the prior week.
I was seeing them over 4 for my buyers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. For a
No,
couple
so
weeks.
this is
Yep.
phenomenal.
Yep.
Let's see. Touring activity for the first week of January through the end of February was 6 percentage points behind the same period in 2021 and 7 points behind the same period in 2020, which
That's
is interesting.
interesting.
That's according to Showing Time. I wonder why that is. Especially 2021, like height of COVID. I know that like it didn't really matter. People were buying homes, but it's interesting to see
That the
touring
actual
activity slowed.
touring
Is
would
going
go
down.
down.
That's interesting.
Because like we're not really seeing number of offers go down.
No.
So
I'm going to go a little conspiracy theory and say over the last year, everyone in the real estate industry has become to know that Showing Time is owned by Zillow.
Oh yeah.
And Zillow has fallen out of favor with a lot of realtors. And so some brokerages have actually dropped, or boards have actually dropped
Fair point.
their membership of Showing Time. And Showing Time has auxiliary fees that you don't know about. And so maybe that has to do with it. That,
Did you guys,
Interesting.
speaking of articles, did you guys read, I saw about Zillow, how their only profitable part of their business is when they come after us to be a premier agent.
I mean,
Yeah.
does
So
that surprise you? That doesn't surprise
that
me
is
in
their
the
only
slightest.
profitable section of their company, and they're coming after us again by 2025. They have a goal to double their income based off us.
so if
and
you're a
becoming-
realtor, don't pay Zillow.
please. It's like they grab our information to sell it back to us. And the only way we can, and what was frustrating for me back in the day when Premier Agent first started is when I have a listing and now you put a Premier Agent because they're going to pay you, and some buyer's going to get this random agent who doesn't
They
know
don't
their
know.
property.
They think it's the listing agent too. I remember. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
people show up and they
And I
think
feel
they're
like it's a
getting a listing
disservice
agent.
to my clients, because now I don't know what this other agent's best interest is. It's probably not to sell my property for my clients.
Yep.
Who knows what they're doing? And that was really frustrating to me, that we had a fight to even get our name on their listing presented by.
Yeah.
That was a fight at one point.
I remember.
So that's frustrating to me as far as that goes. But they're coming back after us.
Yeah, lucky
They want to
us.
double the income.
All right, well, one last thing I thought was interesting as far as a leading indicator of home buying activity. Mortgage purchase applications decreased 2% week over week, seasonally adjusted during the week ending February 25th. That didn't surprise me because people were seeing rates go up. So, of course, that
They're gonna
activity
taper,
slowed. So
yeah.
I bet we see that go up here when we look at it next
So does, forgive me if this sounds stupid, but does mortgage applications go hand in hand with rate locks type thing? Because I can imagine that lenders, brokers, were not rate locking, hoping that rates would adjust within that first week of escrow.
I don't know at what point. I think the application is from the point that they actually like
Hit apply?
I don't. Yeah, I would say from when they actually like enter escrow, not pre-approval, but like actually.
That's
start
what I
the
thought too.
process. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
So
is from the
I could
Mortgage
see them
Brokers
not locking
Association.
rates.
Right.
Yeah.
Hold enough.
Yeah, hoping, anticipating what just
Gamble
happened.
because it could go the opposite way.
Oh gosh, right?
Anyway, bunch of interesting stuff. Anything else that we saw this
Yeah, I had to put my glasses on here so I can see. Well, anyways, just nothing as exciting as Ukraine or Airbnb, but The Gallup poll came out showing that for 8 years in a row now, real estate is seen as the best investment. This is over gold. Woo-hoo. This is over stocks.
As we've been
this
saying.
is over savings accounts, which I think maybe are the worst investment against inflation.
Didn't
I think you're actually losing money.
Like 9% of people were still saying that savings accounts were the way to go. Which
who are these
9%?
Yeah,
0.01, right? I think that's what I don't have a savings account,
but then with the rate of inflation, you're literally losing money.
Yeah.
So 41% of the people polled as a long-term investment felt that real estate was the best investment, and as a long-term investment. And that just goes along with what you said earlier, Elise, as far as housing security, and that once you get into an investment, you're hedged against inflation, if you will, because your mortgage payment is going to stay the same.
And history shows that home prices rise during inflationary periods.
Yep.
So it is
everything rises.
Yeah.
And I guess it also said that inflation is at its highest level in 40 years. So, I mean, that's a huge impact. And so those people that are locked into mortgages, have mortgage security, have home security, I think it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Goes back to that other thing, buy property and wait, don't wait.
Buy it and wait. Someone posted a fact, and it was like the average median sales price in Orange County back in the peak back in 2007 was something around $400,000, and now it's $900,000. But back in the day, we thought that was astronomical and that was so huge.
How could it ever?
How could it ever go so high? But yes, I digress. We have gone up. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a very interesting week with how what's going on globally is going to affect us here locally. I think as we go forward, we're going to see more baby steps of how it impacts our sellers, buyers, mortgage rates, stuff like that.
It's ever evolving. We'll keep an eye on it, and we'll see what to say next week, huh?
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching.
See you later.
Bye.